Welcome one, welcome all to the SnailTrail4x4 Podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, and camping in Toyotas, and maybe, I don't know what else I was going to say there.
And freezing in Toyotas.
Freezing in Toyotas. Taking your electric blankets in your Toyotas. Then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler, and I've been doing this for too long.
He's running out of topics to say.
I'm running out of stuff. Help me. Help me, everybody.
I remember when, even though you haven't introduced me, I'm going to talk. I remember when we first started this and we wrote out a list of things that we could say, and then we used them for like 2 or 3 episodes, and then you just went off the cuff.
Yeah.
But originally they were parts, like we were going to say. And if you like differentials in Toyotas, and if you like wheel bearings in Toyotas, and then it's turned into like whatever we feel like saying.
And made by 125 bolts in Toyotas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now it just kind of turns into pretty much whatever I come up with off the top of my head when I start the intro, because then as I'm going through the intro, I think, damn it, I forgot to think of a thing again.
Right.
Oh, man. We are professionals here on the SnailTrail4x4 Podcast. 241 episodes into this. You'd think that we'd have stuff figured out by now, but we don't. And that's what makes this show great.
Yeah. Yes, it
Anyways,
does.
Jimmy, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing well. I'm dry.
That's good. Yeah.
Fared the storm pretty well. Glad we got out of Dodge or con, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Which you'll hear more
I think
about.
Everybody's glad to get out of Dodges.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. I think we made that joke later in this episode.
Was it? Did we? I think we did something about Dodges.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And getting into Fords. But yeah, I think, we'll talk about all that later in the episode, but yeah, this storm was pretty crazy.
Yeah. We went from the driest 200 days in a row, 210 days in a row since 1884, I think.
Somewhere
to having
1890 or something.
Yeah. To having the wettest 2 days in a row since 1880.
Yes. I heard we had the most rainfall in 24 hours, and it was interesting. It was from like 1 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh, interesting.
Is what they calculated, and we got 5.8 inches of rain in downtown Sacramento.
Jeez.
Most rainfall in 24 hours since 1880.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's somebody was making fun of us on Instagram saying, it's either feast or famine in Northern California. I was like, yeah, it makes things entertaining. It makes it fun to live here.
It's extreme, you know, and it's crazy that, now those records have been reset and they're in the same year.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if anybody ever in like 100 years is going to look back and go, oh, that's interesting.
That's false. That's fake news.
It happened in the same year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just an interesting time right now. But yeah, it was a really fun weekend. You guys will get to hear a little bit about it coming up with a fun interview. We got to sit down with Jason, half of the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey guys, the half that is the wheeling, but not the wine and whiskey anymore.
Right.
And then the other half of that show is the wine and whiskey, but no wheeling. So combined, they make a Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
True that.
So
yeah.
We got to sit down with Jason and talk about the weekend, which was pretty interesting. It was fun to kind of get everybody's views and opinions, because we all three came in the trail at different times.
That's true.
And so we all kind of had a little bit of a different experience coming into the trail, and then we all left at the same time. But I don't know if I talked a little bit about it in the upcoming thing, but in the upcoming, I guess, chat with Jason. But coming out of the trail, my transfer case was not happy.
Really?
Did we talk about that?
No.
Yeah, it was making some very loud whining noises.
Well, you went back up to the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still doing the whiny noises?
I mean, it's not anymore.
Does it work?
No.
Oh, what?
So we were coming off of the trail and off of the Rubicon, and it was making this really loud whining noise, and it was like binding up. Like it would not, you know how normally gearing is supposed to slow you down? It would slow me down so much that it would almost stall out the vehicle, which is not what it's supposed to do.
Do you have oil in there?
That's a good question. I mean, it was leaking oil up until I left for the Rubicon, so I would assume there's oil in it, but it's been too wet now to see if there's any oil drips underneath the vehicle since I've been back. And so while I was out snow wheeling yesterday with Sean, the new Morphlate employee, he's never been snow wheeling, like real snow wheeling before.
Yeah.
So it was fun to get him out there and get him buried in the snow and then watch him work himself out of it. And so it was a lot of fun. But what happened was we were getting to a point, and I was just running in the 2.28 gear all day because the 4.7 gear was the one that was whining.
Okay.
It wouldn't whine in 4 high or the 2.28. And so I just ran the 2.28 all day. And then we got to a point where I needed to put it in the 4.7 to crawl through the snow and get traction. And it was not happy. Like, it stalled out the vehicle in second gear trying to crawl through.
Wow.
And so I was like, man, it should not be binding like this. And it is not happy at all. And so we got to a point where it was like late in the day, it was about 3:15, and we were heading up to McKinstry Lake because there was some fresh powder. We were making fresh tracks, and all of a sudden it got pretty deep. Like, it was almost up to the top of my 40-inch Patagonias.
Wow.
And so I was like, we found a nice wide spot in the trail. So I was like, let's use this spot as a turnaround since we're at a good spot and a good time right now. So I'm going to pull off to the side and let you play around here and see how far you can get on your own without me breaking trail for you. And he got, I think, like 5 feet and then just sunk his Forerunner.
You got about half of a Forerunner ahead of your tracks. And
pretty much.
Yep.
And so after we got him out of there, I went to turn around, and I got turned around in kind of the little spot where we were playing. And then I was backing up to make room so that he could turn around, and I hear this pop, like a ratcheting noise while I was from the 4.7 gear, and I was like, oh, there goes the 4.7. And then I put it in the 2.28 and it worked okay. And so then I put it back in the 4.7 real quick, and it goes like it's ratcheting, like this really loud ratcheting noise. I was like, all right, so that's not going to work.
Wow. Okay.
So I ran the rest of the trail out. I let Sean lead, and I ran in the 2.28, and then the 2.28 started whining.
Yeah, you're just getting crap up in there.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I just took it out of low altogether, ran 4 high, and had no issues after that. But I get to pull and rebuild a transfer case now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how soon do you think you're going to do that?
I need to get the rig refereed.
Oh,
so it needs to be able to drive in order to do that. So 2-wheel drive works just fine, and 4 high works just fine. It's just the reduction gears that are not happy. So I'll probably order like just a complete rebuild kit and have spare parts on hand for whatever I don't use. And then once the rig is done getting refereed, then I'll pull the T case and completely rebuild it.
Yeah. Okay. So possibly a few weeks.
Yeah.
You're looking
2 to 3 weeks, is what I'm guessing.
I saw a screaming deal online for a top shifting T case, and I bought it.
Okay.
And it's out in Santa Rosa, and I had a good friend of mine, college mate, go pick it up. And so I go out that way usually during Thanksgiving time. Okay. And so he's holding it for me until Thanksgiving, and I'm going to pick it up then. Yeah. And so you could rebuild that one. Right. And pull your old one off in a way and just swap it in as a possibility.
Is it a dual case or
no? It's just the rear T case.
The rear T case. Okay. So I'd have to pull my 2.28 off of it.
Yeah. Actually, now that I'm saying that, it doesn't exactly help you because the reduction, your 4.7s, the 4.7's in the back. Mm-hmm. So maybe, the 2.8 in the middle is not doing well either.
It's whining now that the 4.7 broke. So I'm guessing, I don't know. I don't know what I'm guessing.
It's probably just crap in the fluid.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So that sucks.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I damaged the 4.7 gears with rock crawling the 40-inch tires because they were stuffing into my fenders and my sheet metal really, really bad. And it was binding everything up. And I had to push through it as best as I could. And I'm pretty sure that's what damaged the 4.7 gear. So, we'll talk a little bit more about my experience with the Patagonias on Monday's episode.
Okay.
Yeah, in the meantime, I get to work on the exhaust this week and hopefully get the exhaust all buttoned up and have the rig ready to go referee once my referee gets back from his vacation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, you have 4 days to get into the gift box tier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We did have 2 people sign up since our last recording.
For a gift box?
For the gift box tier.
Sweet.
Yep. We've got Zach and we have Clint Johnson.
Nice.
Both signed up.
Very cool.
That's awesome. So I think we're going to be...
We're going to be over 50 boxes?
We're definitely going to be over 50. I'm wondering if we're going to be at 60.
Jesus.
But yeah, so that's awesome. Thanks for your support, guys. And I'm excited to get you Tyler's box.
Yeah, my box. What's in my box, everybody? You get to find out in April.
Yeah.
2022. Oh, speaking of 2022, my Bronco order just got a confirmation this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I finally got a confirmation that my order has been submitted.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, that kind of sucks that it's not, that I submitted it back in like February, but
it just went through.
Yeah, for some reason it just went through. So, but at least I got something now.
Yeah, there you go.
I officially have something about my Bronco finally. So that's exciting.
So no other idea of when something might come in?
No build date, no scheduled for production, nothing like that yet. Just the order, because my original order was completely fucked up. It was 100% not what I ordered. And so I called the dealer and I was like, hey, what's going on? They're like, yeah, this isn't what we submitted for you. And I was like, well, it's what got submitted. So can we fix it? So they had to cancel that order and resubmit my order, which then bumped me back in line.
Oh, lame.
And I did that back in April, I think.
Okay.
It was like late April when I did that. And I never got a new submission confirmation until today. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. But everything's right on it. So that's good.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little thinking about getting a new vehicle.
Oh yeah?
Uh-huh. And I don't know. I'm probably not going to do this, but I was thinking about selling Clifford.
Okay.
And selling Charlotte, the Tacoma.
Oh, really?
And getting the new Tundra.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because the new Tundra...
that would almost pay for a new Tundra, selling both of them.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
The new Tundra has better engine stats than Clifford has.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a higher payload or towing capacity.
It does, really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
I just did a quick Google search, so I didn't dive too much into it. But when I looked at a 1997 F-250 diesel, it said that the towing capacity is 10,000 pounds.
Oh, the Tundra's 11,
Tundra
right?
is 12.
Oh, 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if it would get better mileage too with the P2 hybrid.
I don't know. And that's the end that one has the better power and torque. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I was looking into it a little bit, but then I'm going, okay, well, I would need the Tundra to be my daily driver, and I would need the Tundra to be like the overland build, and
the tow rig.
And the tow rig. And I don't know if I want to have an overland build as the tow rig.
Gotcha.
I mean, I could talk to CJ with the CJ and see if that's a good idea, but it just seems like you're making something really heavy. And then you're trying to tow with it. Yeah. And it just makes things heavier.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to do, but it was going through my head. I was running numbers and I was looking at facts and just to kind of see it. Cause I think that new Tundra is going to be pretty hot. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a sweet rig too. My main concern is just gas prices. Yeah. Right. Everybody's complaining about gas prices. I'm kind of complaining about it. It cost me, just for the 4Runner, which has a little 14-gallon tank, it cost me $65 to fill up. Right. Yeah. So
I put $100 in Clifford the other day.
And I put in $100 and it gets me like 2/3 of a gas tank in the F-150.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I filled up the first one, and then I just filled up a little bit more in the second tank to bring me up to $100.
Yeah.
Because I usually drain when I drive Clifford. I drive around until the front tank's done, and then I switch it over to the second tank, and then I go get gas.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, I need to go get gas.
Yeah.
So I need enough in the second tank to get me to a gas station.
There you go.
So then I fill up the front tank all the way up and just put a little bit more in the second tank.
There you go. But yes, I mean, gas prices are not going to improve. They're just going to keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I don't want to get political, but I was joking with the assistant the other day that I wonder if Biden is purposefully jacking up the gas prices to try and move everybody to electric vehicles.
Well, I think that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking away the oil and crude oil infrastructure and putting a shit ton of investment into solar and electrical infrastructure. So the more infrastructure gets laid down for solar and electrical, the less expensive EVs are going to be, and the cost of EVs and the cost of owning EVs, I should say. So what I'm planning on doing is I could probably sell the F-150 for more than I bought it for right now, probably close to $30,000 would be my guess. The F-150 Lightning is going to be starting at $40,000.
Okay.
There are incentives for buying EVs right now, and for that vehicle, it's about $12,000 incentives. So that brings the price of a Lightning down from $40,000 to $28,000.
Yeah.
That's just for the base model, right? So if I get a Lightning base model and sell my F-150, I could come out $2,000 ahead. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And get rid of my gas bills on the F-150. So
yeah. My concern though is towing with an electric vehicle to like Moab.
I wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's the point at which I need a petrol vehicle or diesel or whatever, however you want to, I need a internal combustion engine for towing.
Okay. Yeah.
Or long distance things in a way, and then if around the town, day-to-day tasks, electrical is the way to go. I see.
Yep.
But yeah, if I'm going to go to Moab, I don't want to have an electrical tow rig. Cause I mean, right. It's like, what is the Lightning gets 300 to 400 miles on its charge.
About, yeah.
And if you're towing, I bet it's down to like 100 to 200.
Yeah. Yeah.
150 to 200, and even gas stations in Nevada are like 200 plus miles apart. So it's just, at this point for that application, it's not feasible for me.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I would agree at this point in time for towing, but that's not what I'm going to be using it for.
No, absolutely.
So,
yeah. But that's what I was, it's like, get rid of the Tacoma, get rid of the Ford, buy the hybrid, because I don't see besides the Lightning, there's not a really great option for trucks out there in that category. But the hybrid I think would be nice. It'd be a little bit better gas mileage.
Theoretically. Yeah.
Yeah. And then who knows what happens when you tow. But I mean, Clifford gets like 15 miles per gallon when I'm driving around day to day. And then it drops down to like 10 miles per gallon when I'm towing. I don't think that the Tacoma is going to be 10 miles per gallon. I bet it'll be higher than 10 miles per gallon towing.
Theoretically.
Yeah. It's unknown, but
yeah.
Anyways, we diverged. We left. We bird walked.
We went away. Yeah.
From our topic.
Yeah. So, what is our topic today?
Yeah. Well,
just talking with Jason, right?
Yeah, we talked with Jason and the assistant, and we were in the Lance camper after our Rubicon trip, and we were reminiscing about the adventures and the chaos and how to deal with quick weather changing.
Yep. Being adaptable on the trail is what it's all about. So I guess without further ado, should we get right on over to that topic?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Awesome. Go ahead and grab your favorite whiskey. And we get to drink double since Jason's on being sober Jason right now. And we'll be right on back with today's talk with Jason after our trip through a snowy, wet, sleety, very little sunshine trip through the Rubicon. And just a heads up, if you guys have already listened to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey's episode this week, it's pretty much the same thing. So, you can listen along and hear the stories again, or you can just go ahead and skip this episode. So either way, we won't judge you for it, but, we totally get it that you guys prefer us over them. So listen to us. Yay! We'll be right on back.
Welcome to Studio L in front of Ice House Resort. We're here on a rainy Saturday evening in October, and I've got so we're inside the Lance camper. We just had a burger in the bar and fries, and we've got some cast of characters here. The Snail Boys slithered in.
You have some slime over by the door.
I know. I saw that. I'm gonna have to
Clean that
pressure
up.
wash my camper now. So we got Tyler and Jimmy, and the lovely assistant is here joining us.
Gosh, yes.
Welcome to this shit show.
Here I am.
So we were supposed to be on the Rubicon right now, but weather forced us out. And
monsoon.
Our better judgment got the best of us, being educated wheelers and veteran High Sierra wheelers. That it's coming big time. So we said, hey, let's get out of the trail.
Yeah, I wasn't really too concerned because I absolutely love terrible weather wheeling until you pulled up your phone. You were like, look how many inches of rain are coming in Placerville over tomorrow night. I was like, oh, that's a lot.
Over 6 inches of rain, 6 3/4 inches of rain.
I didn't bring my floaties with us.
That's a lot of rain. I mean, that's like what we get over like 3-4 months if we're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming in one night.
Yep.
Batten down the hatches.
Yeah.
Build an arc.
In a way, it's kind of scary because we've had a lot of fires up in Northern California recently, and we're going to get a lot of rain here in a very short period of time. So I'm a little concerned about flash floods and mudslides and things happening.
There was an official warning that went over the 805 repeater.
Heard that
earlier today.
Oh, wow.
Saying anybody in the Caldor fire burn scar, you are on extreme alert for tomorrow for flash floods and mudslides.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's going to be interesting.
So we're up here at the resort. We staged out of here yesterday morning, Friday morning, and went into the trail. Jimmy and the assistant came in late evening.
Yeah, no substitute teachers exist currently.
Oh.
Yeah,
so you had to
taking off work.
Had to do what you did, and but that worked out good. You guys made it in like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah,
we did.
Hour and a half, hour
in
45.
the dark.
No Jeeps slowing us down, right?
And it wasn't rain. It was raining on you a little bit, right?
At the start.
At the
very start.
But after that, no. And we just slithered on in.
Yeah.
Slithered on in.
About when we got to the far side of the bowl or around Ellis, it wasn't really raining on us anymore.
Okay.
It actually cleared up pretty nicely once they pulled into camp. It cleared up. It dried up. We weren't having that heavy mist anymore.
And the wind wasn't too crazy either. It would kick up occasionally, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I know it's like, why
gusts.
did everyone go to sleep? It's not too bad right now.
Well, you just got out of a warm truck.
Yeah, exactly. You guys were going through it.
Well, we were in the rain all day. I mean,
Yeah.
it rained on us pretty much all day.
Mm-hmm.
On the trail, I had a minor issue with a shock. I lost a nut on the upper shock bolt.
I heard you found it.
I found it.
Where was it?
It was on the trailer.
Oh, really?
Wait, the nut you were missing was on your trailer?
Was on the trailer when I went back to the
So
trailer
like it
today.
vibrated loose as you were driving up the road?
And I mean, I
That's a
snugged
Jeep thing,
it.
apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
I didn't get it
I can't say much.
super tight, but I had that shock off because I welded the frame up. And so I needed to, get the shock out of the way. So I drove all the way up Ice House Road with it, no problem, to the trailhead. And as soon as I got articulating on the trail, I just heard like this sounded like a chain on sheet metal. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, okay, opening the door, trying to figure out if it's front or rear. It was front. I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Get out, look. I couldn't find anything. Everything was looking okay. I go drive again. I go, no, something's really wrong. And it's raining, and it's right at the beginning of the trail, and I don't want to be that guy, It's like, oh, here we go, just starting down the trail, and somebody's broke. So I look, and then I see the shock just, like, jammed up into the fender and the sheet metal, and that's what was making noise. So we didn't have a nut big enough. So we put a hose clamp on there thinking that would hold, and that held all the way up to whalebones, but then it blasted off at whalebones, so I just removed the shock. So that was the only real mechanical that we had yesterday.
Did you notice a big difference driving down the trail with only one shock?
No, I didn't. And then with leaf springs, leaf spring life.
Yeah.
It didn't make much of a difference. I did notice that tire got stuffed a little bit more, maybe in a couple spots, but.
So your shock is like your up travel limiter?
Well, not really, because it doesn't bottom out when it's fully compressed. I do have bump stops. I know yours do.
My rear shocks.
Mine do.
Yours, Tyler, makes a lot of sheet metal sounds now.
Now it does, yes.
Yeah, crunchy sheet metal rubber sounds. Not very good. I rode in that thing this morning. It was a little...
Yeah, the goal for today, after coming in yesterday, was to, once the sun kind of came out this morning, I was going to pull out a grinder and trim up my fenders in camp.
Yeah, that never happened, huh?
Never happened, yeah. So
yesterday we wheeled in. We had 4 rigs. That was it in our group. So it was me, John and Renee, Alan, who've been on the podcast before. Was Doreen?
No, Doreen was with me.
No, she was with you.
Walt and Morgan?
Walt and Morgan. No, okay. Walt was... No, yeah, you're right. Walt and Morgan. Oh, no, the Hollands.
Oh, Ben and
Sandra were with us.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that was our group, just 4 rigs. But it was rain. And water was rushing at the base of the bowl. Just there was a river at the base of the bowl. That was pretty cool. And then, there was water running down the trail in spots. And then we got up to the little sluice, and the 3 of them went around. And I'm like, I want to try the little sluice. So I went up a little sluice by myself, and water was just coming down it.
Oh, really?
It was cool.
The little sluice river?
Yeah, a little sluice river. So backing up, whalebones was interesting because I just came from Trail Hero where traction was the utmost premium and driving on sticky tires. And
did you mean little sluice or soup bowl?
No, I didn't do soup bowl.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, so little sluice. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Little sluice. But, granite's slippery, and then especially in the summertime when it's got dust and stuff on it, and the rocks are moving out here. So it's really different wheeling style than out there in Utah. So I had to adjust that. I had to adjust that I wasn't in the buggy anymore. I was back in the old 5 that did great, but it's a different wheeling style with leaf springs and shorter wheelbase and
not stickies.
DOT tires. Man, I love the sticky life.
Yeah,
love the sticky life.
So whalebones,
and it was wet. So John and I are looking at it, and I go, "Hey, I'm just going to back up and get square to it." And I started up, and then the front end just slid right over to the right. I mean, just like. Like denied. I'm like, okay, let me get a little bit more left. And then I didn't goose it or anything. I was able to pretty much crawl it, gave it a little onion, but not much. And got up. Didn't have to hit it with my purse, so that was good. But yeah, and then the little sluice, there was still some pretty good holes in there. I mean, it's really kind of paved over compared to what it used to be
in the 90s.
Back in the day, but it's still a good challenge and fun section of the trail, especially when water's running down it. I pulled the driver front tire up about 3 feet in the air in one hole that I got stuck in, so I had to back up, and then I kind of got turtled, and I go, oh, this isn't good. But then I was able to work off of it. So it was fun. I was laughing, and John would radio down from top. How's it going down there? we're doing fine. Just keep going. And we ended up meeting. They did the bypass and came up at the end of the sluice, and I was just coming up to the top. So it worked out perfect.
That's pretty good timing.
And I stopped and took some video and pictures and stuff, was just cruising up. But so we made it into camp at a pretty decent hour, 1 something.
It was about 1:30.
Yeah.
When you guys reported you were in
camp.
It
was raining, and so everybody's just kind of sitting in their rig, and I'm outside. I got full rain gear, and I'm like, well, I'm going to set up my tent I got that nice Gazelle that apparently everybody else has now.
It was
looking
like
around
a
Gazelle,
the camp.
a Gazelle convention.
Yeah.
We had 6 Gazelles in camp, I guess. But yeah, the thing literally set up in 90 seconds, and I put the Mr. Buddy heater in there. The thing was like a sauna instantly.
Yeah.
And just threw my gear in, got camp set up, and then we just kind of hung out and waited for you guys to come in. So talk about your day.
You guys pulled into camp right about as we were getting on the trail.
Yeah.
About 1 to 1:30.
You're right.
Because it was right about that time. Because you guys were getting up to the top of Walker Hill as we were getting back on the road, pretty much, and coming up around that big pass to come down to Loon Lake, right there where you get cell reception. So we ended up pulling on the trail as you guys got into camp. But before that, the reason why we were kind of behind was because I took everybody on a hike.
Yes.
And there is a plane crash down there that's very spectacular. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Information is out there on the internet if you really want to dig and try and find it. But it is a federal graveyard.
Oh, it is.
It's a memorial. So it's people try not to post the GPS coordinates out and keep it all public, so that people don't go and take parts of the
plane parts walking
the memorial,
off.
Yeah. But I took everybody into there, and we had 7-8 rigs that went into that one with me, and man, it was only like a 25-30 minute hike one way, but in that downpour we were hiking through, everybody was just soaking wet. And then I think that contributed a lot to everybody just going to bed early and trying to get warm, because everybody was just freezing cold from 11 a.m. on for the rest of the day. So after the hike, we got back to the cars and I immediately changed into a dry clothing, and nobody else did apparently. And so I was like, I'm fine.
That's exactly what
problems.
I did.
Yeah.
I got in my tent and I just put on dry clothes and went back outside, and it was great. But once the sun went down, it got pretty cold and it was damp, and
it was interesting. It was in a weather that I've never been in before. That heavy. It wasn't raining. It wasn't fog. It was just a super heavy
soupy
mist.
Yeah, soupy.
And anything you had laying out would just immediately get drenched.
Yeah.
But it wasn't raining.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, this is just weird cooking dinner that way, and everything was just getting wet.
It was staining at times.
Yeah.
Snow and rain. Staining.
Yeah.
You know that one, assistant? No, you never heard that one?
I've not heard that one before. But I also cooked dinner in the heavy mist.
Yeah.
The heavy mist.
It sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't too great, but I had my steak dinner and had it all set up, and it was great and fantastic.
You were all bitter because you're like, the steak dinner's for Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be here, and I think everybody else is leaving because this storm's coming in. So you're like, fine, I'll cook my steak tonight. If I'm not going to be here tomorrow. It's all pouty.
Yeah.
Pouty Tyler.
I did the same thing this morning.
Yeah,
for
you
breakfast
did.
Too.
Yeah.
I had one of those big old pastries. And,
that was good.
And I started cutting. I was like, Jason, do you want any? He goes, yeah, sure, I'll take some. I was like, yeah, since I'm not going to be here tomorrow anyways to have any of it.
So,
nice. So how was your guys' trip in at nighttime?
Well, one of the funny things that happened, I think, when we were driving in is we were coming over the pass from like Wentworth Springs, and we were climbing that big old, from what is it? Georgetown. And we're coming down Wentworth Springs Road, and we're coming over the pass, like we're getting to the top of the hill, and we're like, it is getting so foggy outside. Yeah. Like it is getting gnarly. And we start climbing and climbing. We're going up, and I go, I don't think this is fog. I think my window is just like so I turn on the
a little bit of both.
Yeah. I turn on the the vent.
Cleared up a lot when he turned the froster
froster on, and my window cleaned up, and I was like, wow, I can see so far now. But yeah, so we towed Clifford towed Bobcat in, and we cooked we got into the chalet about 7 a.m.
PM.
Sorry, PM.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't we stop and get dinner on the way.
Yeah, that would have been smart.
So dumb.
If it was a nice summer night, then cooking at the chalet would have been nice.
Well, and then like all the bins were already pushed in, so I had to like unstrap them and pull everything out to get out the stupid stove. And there needs to be a snail armor tailgate on Bobcat because I got up on my knees and was like trying to climb back in there and going, this is awful. And I pulled the stove along, like I moved the stove over to try to like get something out, and like it vibrated so much that the propane came disconnected.
Oh no.
Wow.
Like plug it back in and relight it. Yeah.
Wow, this was a major
I know,
operation.
right?
Yeah.
It was. And standing there in the drizzly mist. And the top of the camping bins had like a third of an inch at least of water accumulating on top of them, and just the time
it wasn't really raining. It was just a mist.
Just misting.
Yeah, it was
just
crazy.
misting.
You were over the trip before it even started.
I was over it right then because I was hungry and cooking this meal in an empty parking lot in the freaking mist, going, why am I doing this? This is
No
dumb.
other trucks or trailers.
Yeah, nothing.
nobody there.
Just hanging out, standing in a puddle, making dinner.
Why did I marry this guy?
The trip in wasn't bad though.
No, the trip in was fun.
Yeah.
Going across the dam and hitting those puddles, that was kind of fun too.
That was
Go,
pretty nice.
wee!
I had fun with that today.
Yeah.
On the way out.
They just spray up so high and you can't like see anything when that happens.
Yeah, and I'm concerned about hitting those big old
The big barriers.
or the
Nice.
granite blocks on the side. Yeah, the only weird sort of thing that happened on the drive-in was going up Whalebones, and so you approach this and you kind of have to turn 90 degrees almost immediately to climb this really steep ledge. And as soon as you go up, my headlights, because it's like
Steep.
8 o'clock at night now. I think we hit the trail about 7:45, or so a little after 8. And my headlights were straight up in the air, and my side windows were foggy.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm bouncing, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually moving forward. Like, I don't, I almost got to the point where I was going to like open the window or the door to
and
see
look
what
out.
was going on. And then a reflector came into view, and I was like, okay, I was moving.
Jeez.
We came out of Gatekeeper and I'm like, I'm glad you know where we're going because this looks like nothing.
Right.
Just looks
Yeah.
like nothing. Like, okay,
And
well,
You've been on
we're
the trail
going
before,
somewhere.
right?
Yeah.
In the
but it's
daytime.
totally
in
different.
the
at night.
daytime,
Totally
yeah,
different
I'm
at
like,
night.
this is silly. Like, I'm
Especially-
glad you know where, yeah.
Especially the slabs, because you lose those reflectors. I mean, during the day it's hard, but at night you lose the reflector.
You can go off a ledge super
You
easy.
could, you better have your GPS going.
Yeah, we did go off almost a little ledge.
Oh,
I
there
got
was a
lost
couple
coming out today.
kaplunks.
I was following a GPS track to a camp, and then I'm like, wait a minute, the dam's over there. Okay, whoops.
Yeah, I heard,
So
I heard that on the
you
radio.
hear Ben-
Everyone's
Ben's like,
like, I think we're
my
on the-
GPS is showing to the left. I'm like, yeah. There's a nice campsite right here, though. It has a granite table. It's like
really?
a perfectly flat piece of granite that's like a table. It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides that, right before Walker, there's a little like stair step little climb.
Yes.
Like a little climb right before the Walker Hill start.
Double step.
Yeah, and I came down to hit that double step, and I almost high centered the rear diff.
Ooh.
Right, and I kind of gave it a little goose and gave it a little, and I felt the truck pull itself over the rock, and I was like, okay, good. Like I didn't get stuck.
Yeah.
But I took a lot of the easy lines. I took the, because I was alone.
Wanted to get to
No
camp.
other rigs.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
we're
I
just
wanted
trying
to
to
get
get
Yeah,
to camp.
that's smart.
so.
That's smart. Don't need to be a hero.
But yeah, so it took us an hour and a half, hour and 45 to get to Windy Camp, and
Yeah, that's really good.
just cruised. Yeah.
So we should mention, because there's some people that listen to this that haven't been on the Rubicon. So the gatekeeper is like the first main obstacle, which isn't really the gatekeeper anymore.
Yeah,
It's-
not too much.
Yeah, it used to be. It used to be a true gatekeeper, meaning that if you could make it through that, you were good for the rest of the trail. But this now, it allows Toyotas and XJs in and stuff like that. So it's clearly not a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
But then you come up to Snail Hill, right? That you guys named the short little section there.
Right at the end of Gatekeeper
right
before you hit the bowl.
Correct. And then you're up on the bowl. And then the bowl is just spectacular. It's just pure granite, goes down into the bowl and back out. And
It's
it's an
lovely
incredible view.
black abyss.
Abyss at night.
Yeah, at night,
Yeah, it looks great at night in the rain.
Yeah.
fog.
Mist. Yeah.
And then you come out of the bowl, and then there's a nice off camber that throws you up into a rock, and then
I always go up and around that.
I know
because I have way too much body roll, and I'm like, because on our way out today, there was that white 4Runner that was up high. I was like, I can't go up and around, so I have to take the rock, and my sliders and everything were all up in that rock, and I was like, man,
it's tough.
Yeah,
the 5 can make it around that, but
I go high on that.
You go really high too?
I go up and turn around it, and then it just.
On the left side of the rock. You go on the driver's side of the rock as you're going in.
When you're going,
are we talking right before Whalebones?
Right before.
Oh, sorry, no, different spot. I go high and to the right side, above, over on. Surpassed a tree line.
Yep.
And then there's a
drop down right after the rock.
Right after that.
Yep. That's where I go.
Yeah, so then Whalebones right after that. And I don't know, why do they call it Whalebones? Because it doesn't look like whalebones.
That's a great question.
I know.
So you know the tree that's down at the bottom of Whalebones that kind of goes across the little hillside? And when it first fell, all the branches were sticking up,
so
and it
looked
like a whale's rib cage.
When it snowed.
When it snowed,
Okay.
So that's why they called it Whalebones.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So it's just a steep piece of granite that you climb up, and it's off camber a little bit. That's why you try to square up to it. So anyways, just so our listeners understand where we're at. Mm-hmm. And then the trail levels out. You're kind of on dirt a little bit, and a nice little forest run. Mm-hmm. Then you hit some more little rocks, and then you come up to that stair step. Oh, no, you go cell phone tree, right?
That's
Ellis. Go Ellis.
The inner tie and then Ellis.
The tie that goes over to Wentworth Springs. Then you come up to Ellis Bridge. Nice bathroom there, and then you're. Then you got
we call it the zigzag.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to call it.
It
doesn't really have a name.
It's a good little section though. There's more.
Somebody filled it in.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a really easy time with it going through on Friday?
Yeah, we walked right through
Somebody filled it in.
Is that the one that you said, like, I hate this thing. I always get stuck. And then we just went right up it. No problem.
Yeah, and I was like, dang, I need to do this at night more often or something, because this would, maybe I overthink it, but I always have problems here. But at night, I didn't notice it was filled in.
No, everybody went right through and didn't slip a tire or nothing. And everybody just gets crossed over, and it's just the perfect space for the holes to catch everybody's wheelbase.
Yeah, wheelbase. Yeah.
But everybody walked right through it, and I went down and looked at it later, and I was like, somebody filled the hole in the bottom holes there, so you can just walk right up it now. So, the zigzag. And then it's Cell Phone Tree. Walker Hill.
Does it go Walker and then
cell phones? That's
right. Cell phones at the top of Walker. Mm-hmm. So you got lower Walker, upper Walker. You got the stair step, and then lower Walker, upper Walker.
Yeah.
And Walker's that's just a fun.
I like it. Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but it keeps you on your toes. There's a lot of lines that you can pick. Go from mild to wild.
A lot of options. Yeah.
Yep. Within the trail there.
Did you take at the upper Walker? Did you go on the left line again in the CJ?
I did.
Did it work out better this time?
Going down was no problem, and I slid. I actually slid going down, and I was just letting it crawl. I was first gear, and I didn't hit the brakes, and then it started sliding a little bit, and then I gave it a little gas, and then it just cruised down to the bottom. But water was running down that thing hard yesterday, and then today there wasn't. It was just wet with snow. We had snow all day coming out, but
that was awesome.
So then, then you got Cell Phone Tree, where you can get a little bit of cell phone reception. So I was checking weather on the way in, and that's when I just sealed the deal for me, because I'm like, okay, there is major monsoon coming in Sunday night, starting at 1 a.m., and I don't want to be packing up on the trail in a monsoon and then get back out of the trail. And
Saturday night, Sunday morning, 1 a.m., and then 6 3/4 inches of rain. That's so much rain.
So we're sitting here at almost 7 o'clock recording this podcast, and then we're all hightailing at home. So I'll get home, unload the Jeep, and then batten down the hatches, I guess. But anyway, so after cell phone, then you're up there
getting
by
into Soup Bowl.
Soup Bowl, but that section right before Soup Bowl's got a good little rock crawling section.
Yep.
Then you got Soup Bowl, which is an option, and it's all that it's cracked up to be. It's a great, for short wheelbase.
Super dugout
very
right now.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's very dugout. I mean, I looked at it and I'm like, no, I'm not even messing with it. It's wet.
Yeah.
The soup's cold. I don't want any of it. No soup for you. No gazpacho.
Yeah.
Gazpacho soup. So, Yeah, and then after that, it's
winter camp, a little sluice.
And then
our
we
camp.
were at Windy Camp, which is a private camp.
I don't know if it has a name, but you have those two little down when you're going in on the Rubicon. There's those rollers that are downhill that seem to be the perfect wheelbase for everybody to just high center as they're going down.
Yeah,
Where at?
It's it's right after Soup Bowl. Before you start, before you hit winter camp.
Is that the one you warned me about?
Yeah, I said, all right, I'm going to go slow as possible, but we're going to bottom out.
we're still going to bottom out.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And we tapped, but I was going slow and I went left on the way down.
Yeah.
Which is a little shallower.
Okay.
And so, but I still bottomed out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got to camp on some private property, which is super cool. And so it rained, and we got a few breaks in the weather, but it was just cold and wet. And if you were prepared, it was fine, and I was comfortable. And
I was a little concerned when Jimmy and the assistant pulled into camp, because they got out of the truck, and Jimmy's in a t-shirt and jeans,
right, flip-flops,
and flip-flops. I'm like, dude, what did you bring here? What are you doing here? You realize what's coming in store, right?
Yeah, I had all the gear. We came in Sacramento. It was blue.
It was like 70 degrees or something silly like that.
It was a warm storm at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then up in the Sierras, it just changes. Wait 5 minutes, it'll change.
So I had all the warm stuff with me, but I didn't want to put all of it on when we were back home because it's going to be sweating it up.
Yeah, smart. Well, especially you got an enclosed rig, so you could have the heater, and it's totally comfortable, and you're not getting out every 5 minutes guiding somebody or doing something.
Exactly.
So that's different. But yeah, so we took a while to get the fire going because we had John brought some dry wood. He was smart. He bought a couple of bundles of wood, so we had dry wood. But the old lighter fluid, lighter fluid is not as good as it used to be. It used to really be good stuff. It used to go like gasoline, like whoosh. But now it's like you put the match to it and it just barely starts to flicker and go. And then it burns off and it's done. So
I used 2-stroke.
Well, yeah, there was a little 2-stroke used, and that caught. And once we got it going and got some coals going, then we had a nice fire bed. So we had a decent fire going when you guys rolled into camp, and then of course when you guys rolled into camp, Jimmy and the assistant, it was really ripping.
Yeah, it's like, where's the party at?
I know. I was going to stay, but sober Jason said, the heck with this. I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
I didn't have any bourbon, and I was just like, you know what? My low back was killing me. It was cold, and I'm like, man, that tent's going to be real nice. And I got my new cot. This was the first time camping with the cot. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed it. It was up off the ground, especially with all the moisture. My tent was dry inside, but I was able to store stuff underneath, and then I had the heater. It was quite. I was damn near overlanding for a rock landing, I guess.
You just about were. I mean, you had an enclosed rig this time, which was impressive,
and the windshield didn't leak like it normally does. So, years ago, driving the Jeep and put the top on, and in the rain, water would come through the windshield frame and where it meets the body of the Jeep, the dash of the Jeep, and then also the windshield would leak around the frame. Well, John and I put a new windshield in because it was cracked earlier this year. And man, that thing sealed up nice. I had barely any water coming down the dash. Nice. Windshield wipers were working. The heater was working. I'm like, damn, this is pretty nice.
We had the defroster on, and there was a point when I was in t-shirt and jeans, and the assistant had the gear wrench jacket with it powered on, with the heater on, the jacket. Fleece jacket, a beanie, the hood up, and I'm like looking over at her going like, are you okay? Like,
I'm like, I could be warmer.
And I'm like sweating.
Oh my God. You were insulated from all the heat inside the rig.
Probably.
Wow.
I'm a lizard. I need
a reptile.
I need outside heat source.
She always goes, I'm so cold. I'm like, I'm warm-blooded.
Yeah, there you go.
I will say the big aha moment for me this trip was getting the heated blanket.
Yeah, so talk about that.
So I actually
had a heated blanket.
I got this from Lee. Last time I went snow camping with Lee. Outsane FJ80.
Cruising to
camp now. That's
cruising to camp.
Yep. Last time I went snow camping with him, he was like, yeah, I sleep in here with the boys, and they're inside, and I run an electric blanket. And I was like, what are you running it off of? Are you worried about killing your battery? He goes, I just ran it off like his Jackery or whatever version of a Jackery he has. And I was like, He doesn't kill the Jackery? He goes, no, they don't pull that a ton of power, and you only run them for like, you don't run them the whole night kind of thing. And I was like, oh. So I'm getting ready for this trip, and I'm like, man, we're going to have like snow on this trip, and then we're going to have a monsoon coming. I was like, I'm going to stay warm. And so I was like, I'm going to get an electric blanket and take it out and try it out the Jackery. And it was amazing.
Wow.
So it was very nice.
Agreed. We also had a heated mattress pad topper thingamajig, put it up in there. Brought the battery in.
I hear Lance's have heated bathroom floors. Is that true?
Yeah, it does. It does have heated bathroom floors. And
come sleep in your bathroom.
I got a heated blanket right behind you on that bed, but it doesn't work off my inverter, so I got to get one that works off the inverter.
Yeah.
So, and you guys both have electronic ones, and they were working. So that
works just fine. Mine was working on the AC off the Jackery.
In fact, the one that I smoked here with the inverter in this camper was the exact same controller that I saw you pull out of your little RTT.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems.
Rooftop tent for those RTT. Yeah.
When we set up camp, I started it, and it goes 1 through 10, and so I had it at 5, and then we were hanging around the campfire, and then when we decided, we're like, okay, maybe we should go to bed, I ran back to the tent and boosted it up to 10, and then came back to the campfire, and we hung out for a little bit longer, and then we decided to go to bed, and it was really nice to jump into a warm bed.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
Because it was cold.
It got cold. I don't know what it got down to last night, but it snowed.
It snowed overnight. We woke up. I woke up in the morning, and like beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. The sun was out, partly cloudy, clear, super clear skies because of all the rain and snow that we got. But then I turn around and look on top of my tent. I got snow and ice all over the top, and I look over, and Jason's tent is right next to me, and it's completely clean and clear and completely dry. And I'm like, what, did it just snow over my tent? What's going on over here? And so I was like, Jason, are you awake? He goes, yeah, I'm awake. And I was like, are you running the buddy heater this morning? He goes, hell yeah, I am. I was like, okay, there you go.
So I heard it, go from rain to snow last night. So it's just barely, tapping on the tent a little bit. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I opened it up, shined the flashlight. Sure enough, it's snowing. So I got up at 5 this morning, and it was bright. I mean, it wasn't like you couldn't see the moon, but it was just brighter outside.
It was like all the clouds were diffusing.
Yeah, it was weird. And I'm like, and I look, and I could see all the reflection up on the hills are white. The trees are white. Pretty much everything but the ground. All the shrubs were white, but the ground temperature is...
All the rigs were white.
Yeah, so the ground temperature is still warm enough now that it was just melting when it hit the ground, but all the plants and everything, so it was beautiful.
It was a little windy last night.
And then there was gust of winds here and there, and I'll tell you, man, that gazelle is the best thing. Tyler was the first one to get it, and I look at this thing, and I'm like, I only tent camp like 2-3 times a year, but I'm getting me a freaking gazelle because it sets up easy, it's super sturdy, you can stand up to put your pants on, it's got a lot of room,
and it's super easy to clean out. The floor comes out.
The floor is super heavy duty. It velcros in, and like I was telling Tyler this morning, I said when I set up my tent yesterday, it was like kind of on the sandy little area of the granite area, and there was no water running. I'm like, oh, water's going to go this way. Well, no, water went like right under the tent. But this morning when I folded it up, it was dry as a bone underneath.
Mine was dry too.
So I was like, damn, maybe the Mr. Buddy heater too. I had that thing cranking last night, and then this morning at 5, I turned it on low and just took the chill off, and it was nice. But an electric blanket would have been really sweet.
It was very nice. Yeah. And then in the morning, the early morning, Jimmy turned it back on, and then he got up, and I was like, I'm not ready for that. And he cranked it all the way up.
I not only cranked it all the way up, I folded my half of the down comforter
on
top of it. Your full cocoon.
Yeah, I was. And then I was just laying there, and then I heard him come back like an hour later. I'm like, I don't know if you were trying to heat me out of here or what, but it didn't work. I just
stayed in there. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So warm.
Yeah. I was going to say that it was gusty last night, and the rain fly was down on one side, and when it's down on the side, it's a little loose, and so it was flapping. And so there's an easy fix for that, where I just kind of roll it up and shove it underneath one of the structural bars. But about 2 a.m, I did that and stopped the flapping, and I reached outside and kind of stuck my head out and had to unclip a few things, and it was snowing.
It was snowing,
and that's when it was. That's when I first found out it was snowing.
You're like, it's snowing.
Yeah, when he said he was going to go out and mess with that, I was like, okay, hold on, and I just went underneath the covers and scooted down about 2 feet.
Because he was going to open the door?
Yeah, I said, okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready for the gust.
Yeah.
The Arctic gust. Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could hear the little powdery sound in the side of the tent.
It's awesome.
That's one of my favorite noises is snow or rain on a tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer snow over rain.
Well, and then, I always get excited when it's snowing, and it's like when you're staying in a cabin or something, during the day, obviously you can see it snowing, but at night, you may hear the rain or something on a metal roof, but then when it goes silent, you're like, okay, did it stop raining or did it start snowing?
Yeah.
And I'm looking out the window. No. Oh, it's snowing. Then I can't go back to sleep, and then...
Then all he's doing is dreaming about two planking.
Yes, yes, getting the skis out and just sliding down the hill. So yeah, that was our night last night, and then this morning, I don't know.
Absolutely gorgeous morning.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was breathtaking.
After all day Friday, and then waking up this morning, I was like, this is why I come up here.
Yeah. Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
Just crystal clear, just high Sierra, Rubicon goodness, man.
Yeah,
and then you're just looking forward to a cup of coffee and breakfast and. Yeah, so we just kind of eased into the morning. We had all kinds of grandiose plans today of hiking down the old wagon trail.
Yeah, there were several day trip options.
Yeah, we
lot of them.
We had a Pedro was with us, and he'd never been on the trail before, so we thought, well, maybe we'll take him to Buck.
Which, by the way, awesome first trip for somebody to never be on the trail before.
He got baptized, man.
Oh
hard.
My God, yeah.
What a great trip for him. You want to go into detail real quick of his trip? Not only the weather, so you got rain going in, snow coming out, and
he mutilated a track bar bracket.
Just tore off, and so we had a decent snowstorm going. I was just kind of steady, nothing crazy, but then
it was so pretty.
Yeah, but then
really
when he broke, the snow
all hell broke loose.
The snow globe got shaken, and
we were all kind of
was like coming down hard.
Yeah, we had all these grand plans for the day, and we were watching the weather, and we were like, okay, it's supposed to stay pretty clear until about noon, 1 o'clock. Then we're going to get some rain sprinkles coming through, and then the monsoon wasn't going to start until midnight tonight. And so we're like, all right, we're going to do all this stuff, and then we'll start packing stuff up and head out around 1 or 2 o'clock. And then at 10:30, 11 a.m. it starts snowing on us, and we were like,
pretty
I
good,
think plans are changing here.
Yeah. So we were out of camp by 11 something or so. It was right around 11.
Quick, yeah. And so we start heading out, and as we're kind of going out, I'm not too concerned with snow coming down on the Rubicon because the blue granite out there is so coarse.
Yes.
It's not like some other trails where the granite gets polished.
Right.
Even with how much usage that trail sees, the granite never really gets polished. So you still get plenty of traction.
Yeah.
Until there's about 1 to 3 inches of ice and snow built up on it. If it starts sticking and accumulating, then you're in trouble out there.
Yeah.
So I was paying very close attention as to whether or not the snow was going to start sticking to the ground. And I pulled out my infrared thermometer at one point when we were stopped.
Well, yeah.
I was like, the ground's still 45 degrees.
It's too early in the season, you know, because the ground is still warm from the fall, early or late summer, early fall, and this is unseasonably storm for us. I mean, this is crazy. It's called an atmospheric river that's coming in.
And it's a cold one. Usually we get these in the springtime.
And it did start. It did start warm, and that's why it was kind of warm yesterday, and then it cooled down last night, and then it's in the 40s now, and then it's supposed to just blast here. So
but we had 12 rigs at the top of Whalebones.
Yep.
With another 2 rigs that were not in our party. One of them, his drain plug fell out of his differential.
Well, wasn't that whole Toyota group? There's 6 of them or something.
There's 6 or 7 of them, yeah. And so they had all worked their way down Whalebones, except for 2 of them.
Wait! I heard on the radio because I was at the top of Whalebones, and there was 3 other people up there that I met. The guy was we were geeking out on each other's 5s. He had an older 5 than mine. Anyways, it was technically a Willys, I think.
So it was a Willys, a flatty.
Yeah, and so anyways, then you go, we need a spill kit, and I'm like, wait. did somebody roll
over? Yeah.
He goes, no, we need a spill kit. I'm like, did somebody roll? Because that's like when you need a spill kit.
Yeah.
What happened? No?
Apparently his drain plug had just backed out. I'm guessing because he had scraped it along so much this weekend that he was out there, and just every little scrape undid it a little bit.
Twisted it.
And he was trying to go, instead of going down whale bones down the steep part, they were all kind of lining up to the left and realized they didn't want to go that way. And so he was backing up and got all twisted around backing up. So I was trying to guide him and get him around and back on the right trail. And we just had him just kiss a rock, his differential, just skid right over the top of it. And he went over it and then comes back forward. And it looked like there was a stick or something stuck in the bottom of his differential from what I could see. And I'm like, the hell is going on? And he pulled forward again, and all this the differential just goes and just drains from his diff. And I was like, whoa, stop, you're done. Do you have a tarp? We need to get a tarp now.
Yeah, they did get a tarp under there quick, so that was good.
But yeah, and it seemed like his drain plug was just like one or two threads in there. When we kissed that rock, it pulled it out.
Yeah.
So and this was at the same time that Pedro ripped his track bar bracket.
Yeah, on the axle side.
So John was with us with his Premier Power Welder, and he got all his gear out and a wet tarp on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm like, why even have the tarp? Because it's like not even going to keep you dry. And then John looks over at me and he goes, I'm about to get shocked. I'm like, whoa, you want gloves? I mean, there's ways to prevent this. He goes, no, I've been shocked before. I'm a welder. I'm like, well, no, but let's get you some gloves. And then so somebody threw him some gloves, and then his helmet wasn't working, the batteries went out, so then he had to get your helmet. And then so you and I were manning the power welder there and adjusted throttle, and then he was down there burning it in. And like, okay, and then it was just dumping.
We looked up at one point and looked at each other, and we could just see, you and me caught eyes, and we were like wide-eyed, and I was like, I don't like where this is going.
I'm like, we need to get the people that are moving because if we have any more problems, this
could be bad. We still had to get everybody down whalebones and across the bowl.
Yeah,
and it was dumping and accumulating.
And once we got across the bowl, I was like, okay, bring it on, because then we're fine. I mean, you got some slab action to do, but there's winch points there and stuff. But
and I was just sitting in the truck,
reading your book,
drinking my can of wine, reading my book, and watching the snow come down. It was lovely.
Beautiful
afternoon.
See?
Yeah.
We're all running around like crazy. We got to get people moving. We got to weld this up. We got to get this way, that. And
Jimmy's like, it's just going to be a little bit longer. I'm like, sure.
Fine. I'm good. Whatever.
You were lovely.
No cares. Yeah. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, because right as you guys said, we're gonna start this train moving. I looked down at the ground and I saw it was starting to stick.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that was like, okay, go time. Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about traveling with this club and group of people is we've got the mechanical know-how. We've got set up rigs. We're 90+% of the people out there are seasoned in the Sierras, knowing weather can change quick, and you got to, we
had plenty of people that knew the trail, so we could split up into two different groups.
And then we had all, a plan B of going out Wentworth, which isn't as severe or slick. So, all this stuff plays in because this is, you're going out four-wheeling and it's dangerous, but weather can make it extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a breakdown and you're stuck out there, you would not want to spend the night out there under
tonight.
a foot of snow or whatever.
Yeah.
So I heard that they're over this evening and possibly the next day they're supposed to have 3 feet of snow where we were.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's what
oh my gosh.
I was telling Tyler and I this morning when we were driving around, and I'm like, this is going to be under a few feet of snow here by Monday.
Well, I'm coming back up Monday.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. Good. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Why?
Because my employee wants to go wheeling
but you're not going to go on the trail.
We're going to come up through Uncle Tom's.
Okay.
And if it's all clear, then we'll go in through Wentworth and come out Loon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see. But I'm guessing there's going to be 3 to 6 feet of snow down, and we're not going to make it that far. So
it depends on what snow levels drop down to. I mean, it dropped lower than what they were predicting today because we weren't supposed to get any snow today.
Nope.
So it does change quickly up here with the wind, literally.
Got to have your head in a swivel.
Yeah, you do.
Got to be prepared, know what options you have available, and assess the situation and choose an option and go for it.
Don't become a statistic or risking other people's lives, rescuers, to come save your ass because you made a bad decision.
Yep.
So use your common sense.
I think this is one of those situations too where, there's times when you can say, well, it'll be a lot better tomorrow and maybe we should hunker.
Right.
And in this situation, it's not going to be better tomorrow.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse.
2 more days of bad.
Yeah, so the choice was like, okay, we got to get out of Dodge now.
Yeah, and if it was predicted, 3-4 inches of snow, fine, no big deal. But when you got inches of rain and then snow following it, it's like, okay.
Why is that a saying? Get out of Dodge. Is it? Do a lot of people get out of Dodges?
Dodges.
People don't like that. You can't stay in a Dodge.
Yeah, got to get out of Dodge and get into a Ford.
That's right. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Just don't want to have anything to do with a Dodge. So good. I like that, Jimmy.
Well, Clifford's right behind you.
Yeah, so. I know. And we're sitting in the bed of a Ford, so...
I will say, though, once we got everybody down past Whalebones and you were able to get once I heard that you had gotten everybody to the bottom of the bowl...
Yes.
I was like...
We're good.
We're good now.
Yeah.
And then it cleared up and stopped snowing.
It cleared up and wasn't dumping anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like... sitting there on top of the bowl just below Whalebones, because coming down Whalebones, Pedro ripped his bracket back off.
Oh, I know.
So we had to
a different part.
So
it was exactly
a different part. That's the part that John fixed. It was still stuck.
That was it. So that's what John, when he came up, I came out of my camper and he'd just gotten back to the parking area here at Ice House, and I go, well, and he goes, my weld didn't break. The bracket broke.
The bracket ripped apart. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I knew your weld wasn't going to break.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you were throwing some serious rod down on that thing.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, but sitting there on top of the bowl, looking out while it was just snowing and coming down, amazing.
It was amazing coming down and surreal, and I was totally calm. I'm like, yeah, we're good. This isn't a dire situation by any means at the time, but it could be. It could have been. And then we get across the bowl, and I was just looking across of there was one guy going out the trail in a Toyota. I don't know where he was headed.
He was with that same group.
Okay. And then our group was coming down. It was just cool watching everybody come down the bowl and back up. And so I was like, all right, we could walk home from here if we have to.
Yep.
But just spectacular. The Rubicon never disappoints. Scenery was awesome, and just if you were prepared for the weather, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We definitely had some people in our group that were not prepared for the weather.
Right.
And they made light of it. They made it, I think, as good as they could have.
Yeah.
But definitely we kind of talked afterwards, and they're like, yeah, I need this and this. I was like, that's a good idea.
I'm surprised nobody bailed last night. I thought some people were going to bail last night or early first thing this morning. I thought a couple people were going to bail, but they stuck it out, which was good. I was bummed we didn't get to go on our hike today, or we talked about doing the trail through Rubicon Trail, the Granite Loop and the RTF property just before Buck Island. So we didn't get to do any of that, but we got some killer wheeling in and out in some extreme weather conditions.
Yeah,
so
it was cool. It was a really fun trip. I had a good time.
Yeah, it's nice to be back at the camper. We all met back up at Ice House Resort and had a nice burger at the bar. I mean, it's just a cool place. If you do come off the trail and you're looking for a bite to eat, Ice House Resort or in a cold beverage. I had water. Still sober. I don't know. Day 60 something now.
They're good. They're good burgers too.
They're damn good burgers. Yeah. That was a damn good burger.
I had a grilled cheese and it had like a half pound of cheese on it.
Yeah,
it was
so did Tyler.
Cheese. So good.
Good fries. But it's got a cool vibe. They got a whole bunch of dollar bills hanging up from the ceiling and rafters and bras and
cheap thong panties.
Yeah, thongs.
This is the place to come to.
There's there's a lot of history here.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Uncle Tom's, but a lot cleaner and bigger. And
if you can find the SnailTrail $1, I'll send you a sticker.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh,
and we added stickers to the Justine put stickers on the door. I don't know where that door goes. It goes in the back room or something.
Probably
it's right at the bar.
Cold room.
Yeah, it's right at the end of the bar, and there's a bunch of stickers on the door. And I go, Justine, you need a Wheel and Wine and Whiskey sticker on there. And then you pulled out.
Should have covered up the big old Genrite sticker.
I know.
Just to give those guys a hard time.
But it's cool. Cool history, and it's a great place place to you can rent rooms here. They got
They've
few
got
rooms.
cabins.
A little cabin, and then
neat.
there's RV hookups, full hookups, and then there's just place to park. It's a nice, secure place to park. I know,
and I think there's tent camping allowed.
Yeah, then there's tent camping allowed as well. So,
and there's a big group area.
Didn't
back
I?
there.
Yeah, I met you in that group area one time.
That was a
bachelor party or something, or what was that?
It was the
family
wedding.
get together.
It was a
somebody's wedding.
Sarah
That's
and
right.
Ryan's.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. So, it's a great spot, and it's not good if you got a buggy or something, because you got what is it, about a half an hour, 40-minute drive from here to the trailhead to Loon Lake. So you can't drive a non-street legal rig from here.
No.
So you're forced to do like what Jimmy did and go straight up to the trailhead,
up to
the chalet
there.
or the spillway, Loon Lake area. That's the Jeep. It was great to have the Jeep back out, and it did well. And top hasn't been on
shock falling.
Minus a shock. That was my fault. And then
Loose nuts.
that top hasn't been on for like 7 years, I was figuring. So
wow,
you weren't sure how it was going to fare.
Yeah, I know. I waited till one sunny afternoon here to stretch it out and put it on.
Yeah.
It worked out good.
I think we can all say that we would prefer to have your top on.
Yes, good. So the assistant would have seen. She's nodding her head that she'd like to see my.
Oh, so much.
See,
Yes.
there you go. Yeah.
Hey, you're married.
Oh, that's right. So, what else? What else can we wrap this thing up, or what?
I was very pleasantly surprised with the amount of traction for the weather conditions that it was.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really had any issues, got hung up, had any issues, any obstacles, the whole weekend long. So I was impressed.
It was slickery out there, though. I mean, it wasn't like summertime, but it was there was definitely traction was better than I thought too. I will agree with you there, but it was slick in spots. I mean,
I don't think I spun a tire the entire weekend.
Yeah.
It was. I did bind up my tires a lot on my fenders, but even still, I still had enough traction to pull through all those. It was really. I was impressed with it. So
yeah, there you go.
I think my 2 cents is that I'm really happy with the group we had and how willing they were to be adaptable when, as soon as weather was changing. And we kind of, I think there was to some extent we were kind of talking about what could happen, and then once the weather turned, everybody's like, okay,
yeah. When a snowflake started,
this is it.
Well, it's like at camp, everybody was sitting there BSing, and we were all packed up, and I'm like, I go to Tyler, watch this. And so I went over to the Jeep and started it, and everybody's like scrambled, man. It's like, are we going? What's going on? And then Renee comes over. Now, wait a minute. We're all leaving together. I said, I know, but I got everybody moving.
Yeah.
Or else we would have been here another half an hour BSing.
That's like when John started the fire this morning.
Yeah. And I was so disappointed. I'm like, we got the fire going last night, and that was John and Morgan and I, and Renee was holding up the, because it was windy, there was a piece of plywood there, so she was doing the windbreak. Perfect. Got the fire going, got some coals, boom, things were burning great. Kept that going last night. And then, so get up this morning, Tyler and I are fixing coffee and stuff, and I keep looking over and nobody started the fire. There's like 5 little social circles chit-chatting it up. Nobody started the fire. Nobody started the fire.
That's so funny because I kind of looked over too and I saw like 6 people in kind of a tight circle.
Yeah.
And I thought I could have sworn they were sitting around the fire. No. They were 15 feet away.
And they're
from
all
the fire.
shivering. They're all like, oh, it'd be nice to have fire. Well, somebody start the fire.
I was just in with the electric blanket.
Yeah,
then before I got out, I asked Jimmy, I'm like, is the fire going?
Nope.
He said yes. And I said, okay. By the time I got out,
it was when you. So I went over there and I'm like, who's president of this club? Why is the fire not going?
Yeah.
So,
and all of a sudden, like 5 people came. I got this fire starter.
There was all kinds of fire starter coming out, and flames and torches, and John threw some wood on it. And he had the last bit of dry wood, and it started right up, and off we were going again. It's like, okay, guys.
we brought like 3 solid bundles as much wood as you could carry.
Oh, you
at
did?
Once.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and so when he got it going, and then I had wood that was still dry from underneath my rig, and so I grabbed it.
Oh, nice.
And I dropped the first load on the pile of wood that was there that apparently is all wet. I thought you guys brought it.
No.
But no. And then he's like, no, throw that on the fire. I'm like, okay, fine. And I walk back to my truck and I grab the next bundle and I walk up and I throw all that onto the fire.
Nice.
And then he's like, yeah, there you go. And then I walk back to my truck and I grab the third one and I walk back. And he's like, no, we don't need any more wood.
We're good.
I was like, okay, I'll put it right here. Because I'm not coming home with it.
Maybe Woody.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the ham radio communications all weekend.
Yes.
That was really nice. Just knowing that we had, 4 different people kind of paying attention to us from the outside of the trail all weekend long. We had Chris Maines.
So I had check-in times with Chris. So I said, hey, 6:00 Friday night.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's what all the couples do on the repeaters.
Yeah, that's how you hook up on the repeater. And so I said 6 p.m. Friday night.
Which, by the way, where's your co-host? Speaking of him.
Is he working now?
He's in front. Yeah, he's employed again.
Okay.
Nice.
But he's probably sitting in front of his fireplace.
He's probably laughing, going, "Ha ha, those stupid guys!"
With a snifter of brandy and a cigar in one hand.
He's gonna cut all this out now in the editing.
So
we'll know it's there.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, I'm going to check in with you because I want you to check the weather forecast, on the old computing box to see what's going on. If the storm moves up, we got to get out of here. If it moves back, well, then we can stay Saturday night, And so, no, everything was still on track last night at 6. So I said, okay, we're going to check in at 8 a.m. Saturday morning this morning. So we did, and he goes, no, it's still the same. And we said it snowed last night, and he's like, oh, that's good. It was nice and warm in my living room. So
why'd he sleep in his living room?
Well,
that's a good
he didn't
question.
sleep there. He was just there at the time when he was talking to us. But anyways, so we did have check-in times. It was just good, and the communicate the ham radios work so well, and the repeater system on this particular trail is great.
Yeah, CJ called this morning.
Yeah, we got to talk to CJ
did?
with the CJ.
Oh, yeah.
He was trading Jeeps apparently.
Oh, right.
Up near his parents' place.
That's right. Yeah, his dad is selling his Jeep, and they got a newer Jeep for his dad.
Yeah. So he called us while he was on the road, driving down Highway 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Through Echolink.
How great is that?
Yeah. It was good. We had CJ, we had Chris, we had Craig and Carol.
Oh yeah,
Lemon.
yeah, they're out there in Placerville area.
They were listening, and
club members of the Mad Hatters.
Yeah, and then John Arns was listening the whole weekend too.
Yeah.
So as I kind of mentioned that, hey, everybody who's been following us this weekend on the repeater, everybody's off the trail. We're all good. John comes on. He goes, "Are you off the trail? Like you're like done for the weekend, going home? Or are you off the trail like you're at camp now?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's a good clarification."
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I was surprised. I'm always surprised at how many people are kind of listening and listening in on that repeater for safety reasons.
Yeah. Well, we were talking on 805, Ruby Plus, Ruby, and then Simplex.
Yeah,
right?
so it's the Mad Hatter Simplex. Yeah, apparently I need to program in Ruby Plus or something.
I don't think your radio's programmed right for Ruby Plus.
Yeah, I gotta talk to Chris and we gotta look at what's programmed in there and then add those other two. But I was able to hit the repeater, but then at camp it wasn't real clear.
Yeah, it was weird. Because from when we're at camp right there, the repeater is less than a quarter mile away, so
you can throw a stone
there's
at
no
it.
reason to not hit it from there.
It was overpowering.
Maybe,
right?
Maybe that was it.
Those Jeeps get overpowered pretty easy.
That's right. 1.2 gigawatts. Hey, so it was kind of cool. Talk about the package we left on the property there.
Oh, up at John Arns?
Yeah.
So Rubicon Trail Foundation does this really cool thing where they have a stash of parts. Off-road parts for different rigs, a lot of Jeep stuff, a lot of JK steering boxes and sector shafts.
The common brakes out on this trail.
And a little bit of Toyota stuff here and there. It's a lot of FJ40 Toyota stuff, and what they do is they have this out here stashed away at different parts of the trail, and if you run into a Rubicon Trail Foundation person or Glenn, who's always up on the trail on the weekends, anybody who's out there on behalf of RTF kind of watching, handing out pamphlets to helping people out on the trail, if you need a part, you can ask them for that part, and I've been amazed at the parts they come up with there on the trail.
Yeah.
And so you buy it, and they sell it to you at, I think, cost plus like 10%. And the 10% goes into the Rubicon Trail Foundation General Fund for improvements on the trail, maintenance, whatever else. So it's really not that bad of a markup for finding parts in the middle of a trail.
Right. They don't gouge you.
No,
they don't gouge you at all.
They totally could, and people would pay
and so,
to get their rig off the trail.
And so what they're doing is, if you have a part that is still in working condition, but you've now upgraded it on your rig, you can send that part in, and they will add it to the stash on the trail. And so there was a guy that was out on the Rubicon this summer, and his steering box was starting to whine a little bit. And so he talked to Glenn, found Glenn on the trail, and was like, my steering box is whining. And Glenn was like, hey.
Was it saying like, I don't want to do this trail anymore. I want to go home.
Pretty much. And so Glenn was like, hey, we got more steering boxes here on the trail. If you need to get one, we can replace it for you. Like, if that's, he goes, no, it's not like not working. It's just, I'm a little concerned about it. And he goes, well, here, just keep in contact with us. If you get off the trail, awesome. If we don't hear from you, we'll assume no news is good news. And so the guy went back. He was like from Texas, I think. He got back home, and he reached out on the Rubicon Trail Facebook page.
Okay.
And was like, hey, I have since upgraded my steering box to a PSC, and I want to send in my stock steering box. So if someone needs it to get off the trail, you guys can have it in the stash. And I was like, sure, I'll donate the shipping. I'll pay for the shipping, get it over here, and then I'll drop it off next time I'm up there or see anybody from RTF. And so that's one of the things I did this weekend, was I left a steering box up on John Arns's deck.
Yeah, so that's super cool. So I rode out there from camp with you this morning so I could listen to Kermit grind sheet metal.
Yeah.
It's a terrible sound. It really is.
Yeah, you get used to it.
I'm used to it. It happens on Bobby.
Yeah.
So so that's a really cool thing. I mean, this is the premier, diamond gold standard trail, right? In the off-road, it's on everybody's bucket list, and it's pretty cool that it's in our backyard, and we get to run it numerous times at numerous conditions throughout the year, and I'm just super thankful for that. And like say you wake up this morning out there, and it's just like the angels are singing. It's pretty glorious. So, well. Anything else? You're awfully quiet, assistant. You ready for bed? Ready for your electric blanket? So you're gonna wrap up. You're gonna wrap up in Clifford in the electric blanket and just. Yeah,
we can make that happen.
Yeah. Wow.
I wouldn't say no.
We could plug the lithium cube into Clifford, so it's charging it, and then we can run the electric blanket.
Oh my gosh!
I would just fall asleep.
You're probably going to anyway.
Crank up some Metallica or something on the old tune.
I'll just roll the windows down.
Yeah, there you go.
That would wake me up pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I got a couple podcasts to listen to on the way home. I was gonna listen to Cruising to Camp with Lee Lim, the latest episode.
He's been on a tear.
So I'm halfway through the Woody episode, and then he's with Trail Chasers already. It was like 2 years before we were invited to be on Trail Chasers. What the heck?
That's because one of the Trail Chaser guys has an FJ80.
Yeah, that's right.
Jose.
So pretty cool. So if you guys were looking for another off-road podcast and you get tired of Wheel and Wine and Whiskey and Snail Trail, you can go check out Cruising to Camp with Lee Lim. I think he's got 4 episodes out right now.
4 or 5. Yeah. And I know he has another 3 or 4 in the bank already.
I mean, I'm impressed. He's really hitting the ground running. So good job, Lee. And go check that out.
I had a talk with him and tried to tone him down a little bit. Like, look, you have 4 or 5 episodes in the bank. Don't release them every 3 days like you've been doing. Save them, but 1 out a week. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah.
So you interviewed him. I listened to that one. That was good.
Yeah, and on his channel. Yeah. On his podcast, I interviewed him as let's find out who you are. Yeah, right? Like a lot of I didn't need to talk about who I was for once. We
know who you are.
Yeah, and so that either was a good thing or a bad thing for that episode. I don't know.
We got to get him some intro music. That doesn't work.
No. That'll be one of the next things we talk to him about. So if you listen to the Delta episode, Dave from Delta did that.
Oh, he's
as
the one
a joke.
that did it? Okay.
Yeah, and he was like, "That's my best Seinfeld interpretation."
Oh, yeah.
And then so then he started using that as his intro music.
Okay.
So that's super funny.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So yeah, that's cool. And then what else? Anything else in the four-wheel drive land that we need to discuss right now?
Not yet. We're coming into snow season.
I know. Get ready for snow wheeling.
I'm excited.
This is good. I like where the season's starting here. We're getting a nice wet start. Maybe
hopefully it continues.
A little too much at once here for these fire burn scar areas and stuff. I hope the best that we don't have any major mudslides now. Man, just feast or famine, you know. Just we've been dry for so long, and then to get this downpour, but we'll see. Good old California, you know, it's a desert. People forget, and when we do get big rain events, it's like, oh my gosh, the world's falling.
Yeah.
Sky's falling.
I think it's pretty cool that we were able to get like what I would say is the last weekend to wheel on Rubicon.
Yeah.
For the season, before winter season hits.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
We did that on Barrett Lake a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, you guys got the snowstorm. I couldn't make that trip. I pulled a Chris.
Well, assistant, do you have any 2 cents?
Yeah, before you fall asleep, you're yawning over here.
It was lovely. I enjoyed my time watching the snow and reading my book and drinking my wine.
There you go, the canned wine.
It's like sitting at a ski lodge.
Yeah. But the scenery keeps changing.
Yeah, exactly. Take me to new scenery.
Yeah. And you get to hear rubbing tires and scraping rocks and
bouncing springs.
Yeah.
Very bouncy.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for sitting down with us. And, you know, if you guys want to use this episode too, feel free.
We probably will.
You know, you can use a bonus episode.
Yep. I have one question.
Okay.
Do we owe you anything for renting the Lance for this episode?
No. It's compliments of a Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Take it off his debt.
Yeah. Yeah, the gear wrench debt. I guess we're still on the hook for that. So, I think Gear Wrench Corey said he was going to hook us up with some stuff. So, where are you, Corey?
How does that work? You go into debt with them, and then they send you stuff too?
Well, because I told them, that what we do.
They're good for it.
They're good. Yeah.
We're good for it. We're good.
Now that Chris's credit card is paid off with all that Lorenzo debt.
You can pay off that much Lorenzo debt that quickly? Okay, you guys are okay then.
Hashtag Chris money.
Yeah.
So, fantastic. Well, let's get down this mountain before the deluge.
Cool.
You want to do your final? Let's hear your final thought, Tyler, because we're going to put you on the spot. There you go. See, Jimmy's giving Let's hear your final thoughts. Go.
Electric blankets.
Ooh, Jimmy.
Oh shoot! You're asking everybody.
Yep. Yeah.
So get ready, assistant. I was just thinking about how cool it was to wheel in the snow, and even though it was like the ground was cool or warm enough that it didn't stick, it was just really neat to be out there in that environment when it was snowing.
Yeah.
And I found a new whiskey. It's called 12 Proper, since no one's talking about whiskey on the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast, except for me talking about my canned wine. And yes.
That's exactly why we have you here. Talking about your canned wine and Proper 12. I've heard of Proper 12.
Or I don't know. It's 12 Proper, Proper 12.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's an Irish whiskey.
Yeah, it was really tasty.
See, I knew about it.
It was on sale at the grocery store. I took a chance on a new friend. And
Irish whiskeys are good.
Yeah.
I haven't met an Irish whiskey I don't like.
Me neither. And I was a little nervous. I'm like, I don't know, bringing a stranger on a camping trip.
Bringing a stranger?
So we also brought the bottle of Redemption bourbon just in case it didn't work out. But no, it was tasty.
Wow.
It was tasty by the fire last night, and it was tasty in coffee and tea this morning. So
thanks for bringing back Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Yeah, someone had to do it.
Thank you so much. All right, on that note, we're out.
I got one for you.
Ready, bro.
Who is the most famous skeleton detective?
I don't know.
Sherlock Bones.
Sherlock Bones. I was going to say something about bones.
What is a skeleton's favorite musical instrument?
I don't know.
The trombone.
Dang it.
Ah, you got it. You did get it.
I was like, I got it.
What do you call skeletons who are lazy? Oh, I messed that one up. Sorry. It's what do you call a skeleton who won't work? Lazy bones. Yep. Why didn't the skeleton take the job?
I don't know.
Because he couldn't see himself doing it. Wait, that's a ghost joke.
That's a ghost joke. That's not a skeleton.
I messed that one up. I was going off of memory. Why didn't the skeleton cross the road? The famous one.
I don't know.
Because he didn't have the guts.
Why didn't he?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the prom?
I don't know.
Because he had no body to go with.
Yeah. Okay. Are you done?
What did the skeleton say to the vampire?
I don't know. What did he say?
You suck.
Yeah. You got any more? Keep them coming, man.
What do skeletons order at restaurants?
I don't know.
Spare ribs.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Why are skeletons so calm?
I don't know.
Because nothing gets under their skin.
Mm.
What type of art do skeletons like?
I don't know. What kind of art do skeletons like, Jimmy?
Sculptures. It's hard to say.
Got it.
Sculptures. How do skeletons say hello?
By waving their hand?
Bonjour.
Oh.
That one was kind of bad.
They're all pretty bad. Don't kid yourself.
Why don't skeletons eat spicy food?
Why? They can't stomach it?
Yep. Nice.
I got 2. I'm 2 for 20.
Who won the skeleton beauty contest?
A Skeletor.
Nobody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nah.
What do you call a skeleton who went out in the snowy day?
I don't know what it lost.
A numbskull.
Yeah. Okay.
What's a skeleton's favorite type of plant? A bonsai tree. Bonsai tree.
Uh-huh.
All right, last one. What do you call a skeleton with no friends?
I don't know what. Lonely?
Bonely.
Okay, are you done finally?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
There was some skeleton jokes for y'all for the holidays coming up. Happy Halloween, everybody.